rate actually ticks higher, and we only create 100,000 jobs. Well, what's probably going to happen is the dollar index, and in this case, the US dollar Swedish krona takes out the lows, right? And then, so for me, if I started with a small position today, like Dale we're talking about, and tomorrow we're about mid-range, and then the data comes in weak, then you add on a breakdown, a fresh breakdown below. So then you have double the size position on a fresh breakdown. You can move your stops to break even. So I try to do that when I have an idea of A, how I want to trade the market, but B, feeling that I think that this is going to happen in the market. So, that's how I'm trying to pre-position myself today in the currency market. And if you want to know exactly what positions I'm in, you can just go into the Forex Analytics chat room. You can go in the trades room and you can see, positions that I'm taking and what positions I have up and running right now. I just closed out of the pound sterling long, which I actually did, or kman, I joined you on the euro sterling, as you can see in the chat room.
Yeah,
But
just a level.
I know you were talking about it a little bit earlier today. So I see that Steve is here. Steve, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, mate.
Hey, how are you today?
Good. How have you been?
Good. I just, I saw you in here, and I wanted to, give you the opportunity to, if there might be something on your mind that you wanted to talk about before we have weekly unemployment claims today. We got actually a few pieces of data that are coming out that we're going to be covering today.
Yeah, data are
Um,
not expected to surprise the markets, having to do with market expectations, of course.
yeah.
So obviously, if we get some kind of an outlier number, that can end up moving the market, right? For me, the most important technical development of the last couple of days is the USD yen finally breaking down from the ascending wedge. I think that has been the biggest move at the moment, having to do with the dollar in general. After the volatility that was created out of the news, I think we're forced to give it a little bit more time before we get a more conclusive, before we can draw more conclusions having to do with if the dollar is actually about to resume its prior leg lower, or if it's just consolidating its prior gains and there is one more leg missing to the upside. Obviously, the latest political environment has made trading quite a challenge because, now everybody's a little bit afraid that, they might wake up in the morning and some other news having hit the wires or some statement or, some speculation. But it is what it is. And we knew that under Trump, we would have a lot of that.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have volatility.
Yes.
Now you look at the dollar yen and this ascending wedge breakdown that you pointed out. Obviously, and I want to point this out to everybody because this is such a huge level, and maybe get Kman's thoughts here. I mean, Kman, this is 152. It's a huge,
Yeah.
huge level that, I mean, you can go all the way back to, back here to 2022. What a big pivot it's been. Now that we're here, how do you feel about the dollar yen? I mean, we had a clear breakdown. Steve's been really, focused on this one. But now that we're here, what do you do?
Well, you wait for it to confirm. That's the thing. There was a comment again about the hawk at the Bank of Japan that he looks for two or potentially even more rate hikes before the end of 2025, starting in the new fiscal year. And that's what I've been saying. I don't think that they will really move rates this fiscal year, which ends March anymore. But the early May meeting is now extremely live, I would say. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I mean, the it's a rally sell for now. There's enough indications that the market is trying to trade the long yen now. And you know what? Yields coming off. Japan likely escaping the tariff weight. The meeting with Trump Ishiba takes place tomorrow. So couple that to NFP, but I still think it's a backward looking number. This one, yeah, it could be that we are going for the break and then we'll trade Dale's 148 probably.
Yeah, and these are all the comments that were coming out in Asia is tomorrow from the BOJ, basically, saying that there's higher rates coming. And this is something that I want everybody to understand, because I was tweeting about it last night. I happened to be in front of my computer, and I'm like, expect a lot of two-way action around these levels ahead of the NFP. And then these are my comments that I want you to adhere to, or at least know what I was thinking last night when the dollar yen was trading at 151.80s. I'm like, in other words, don't get caught shorting dollar yen down here. May not want to be long, just very careful on the short side ahead of Friday. And what we're seeing now around this dollar yen is you're seeing a lot of, again, it's this two-way action. You can see, a lot of people probably got caught shorting the dollar yen down here, and we rallied we went up to as high as 152.90 in Europe this morning, and we were bouncing around, around this 152 level. But I think it's going to be a real big a big level for tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah,
if the number does come in weak, I think you have a currency pair like the dollar yen that is clearly driven by hawkish BOJ comments, which Kman was just outlining. A breakdown in yields, which is, obviously very clear right now, especially when, you look at the head and shoulder pattern that is developed in the, well, here, we can just look at we'll look at the 10-year here. You can see the head and shoulder pattern going the other direction. So if it's a weak number, 10-year notes should be trading above the 618 retracement, which would be basically 110, and which in 10-year yield terms will be trading, below like 440, and that should weigh on the dollar yen. Then you have all these other catalysts with the BOJ and, just the weak dollar in general. So I think
I just
the dollar yen is really clearly set up for a weak number. Doesn't mean we're going to get a weak number, but it is clearly set up for a weak number. And if we do get a miss tomorrow, you better believe I'm gonna be focusing on that one big time. And let's also not forget the fact that the dollar yen, if you take this low from back in December to the high, we're at the 618 retracement, which is also, basically 152.30s. So, or 152, yeah, 39, I think. Anyway, it's right around these levels.
I just hope that we are not trading 152 the figure going into NFP tomorrow, but rather 152.70 or 80, that we have space to react.
It could be, I mean, that's a good possibility that we're trading at 153 at the number, and then post number it's a weak number and we close at 152 and you're like, oh shoot, what do I do with it now? I mean, that's basically
I'd
what you're
rather have
saying.
it. I'd rather have it trading at 153. That would give us some space to react. Imagine you trade 152 on the dot and you get a weak NFP. I mean, there's no way to react before 151 probably.
That's true. And then you have the weekend risk, Kman, on top of that, the weekend risk of I'm going to be really hesitant unless I've got a nice solid gain. I'm going to be really hesitant to hold anything over the weekend because of, you have the Trump administration risk, and who knows, about who knows what happens. Maybe Trump makes nice with Europe or China over the weekend, and the dollar yen, because yields rally, dollar yen opens up at 153.50. So and you're short at 152. It's a scary time to be holding positions over the weekend. But anyway, hey, we have about a minute before the data. Dale, what are you focused on today as we go into today's trade?
Waiting to react to the NFP tomorrow, and I favor fading dollar strength. I don't think my tune's going to change for a while.
You know what? I'm with you, Dale. I'm gonna join your bandwagon. With selling dollar route. Ooh, the data should just came out. Hold on. Here we go. Should be coming out right now. You see it,
The
K-Man?
non-farm productivity
Oh.
and labor costs are lower. Non-event on the claims. Non-event.
Yeah, jobless claims came in a little weaker. And what is the I wonder the dollar is weakening just a bit here, but you know, not much. Like I said,
Is the unit labor costs that are coming off.
got it.
But
Unit
it's
labor
still a
costs.
Q4 number, right?
I am not 100% sure with your comments there to respond. So here we go. Oh yeah, it's Q4. So those are coming off. That's exactly what's way. Even though it's, you know, not recent, but that's good for inflation coming down. So people think anyway.
Maybe that's AI doing more. It does.
You know, Dale, that's you say it, but
It could be.
that's a big deflationary force coming our way.
Yeah, I think it's already started. I think it's replacing people right now, this instant.
Well, I mean, Steve has been replaced. Stelios has been replaced with AI. I'm just kidding. Steve is here. No, but seriously, it's like, you know, I'm like, jokes aside, I don't disagree with you at all. So anyway, hey guys, I just want to say tomorrow is the best place to be for non-farm payroll is going to be right here. Even a better place is in the Forex Analytics community, utilizing the Forex Analytics platform, having all these tools available to you. Remember, it's only $1 for 10 days. Get your trial right now. Come join the Forex Analytics chat room for the next 10 days. You'll be around during the non-farm payroll, and maybe you'll be in the chat rooms with me as we're using today to short dollars. You can see all the dollar positions I've already started to establish, you know, today. So, K-Man,
Isn't it an NFP tradition at Forex Analytics to have a PIP party on NFP days?
Party.
You're gonna have a PIP party in the community tomorrow.
But you know
Anyway.
what we have done, and Ryan's out today because he was not feeling well yesterday. He's
know.
obviously not feeling well today. We do have a non-farm payroll competition. We'll make sure we circulate that tweet because we do give away. We're giving away 3 months of premium Forex Analytics subscriptions. We do it every month. If you get closest to the number, you do have to respond to the actual tweet. You can't respond to any of our tweets. You have to respond to the one that Forex Analytics did. And then I think PIQ Suite is giving away a couple of things as well. So check out that tweet. We'll make sure we circulate that tomorrow and today. So
it's in the chat.
thank you K-Man just posted in the chat. Thank you so much, K-Man. And thanks, Steve, for being here. Thanks for your thoughts. K-Man, thank you for filling in for Ryan today. I know those are big shoes to fill, especially, you know, being on your own. So really appreciate all the coverage. And Dale, thank you for guiding us and have a great interview with your with your interviewee.
Yeah, we're going to find out how Andrew placed in the U.S. Trading Championship. He was, I believe, at least in the top 10. You were leading last time we talked. Congratulations, Andrew. You know, what was your finish in that?
How's it going, Dale? What's
Good,
going
buddy.
on, man?
Yeah.
So I ended up finishing last year with a plus 254% return in the competition, and I finished in 4th place for the year.
Nice. Congratulations. Was there prize money?
No, the prize money is the money you get in your trading account.
Okay. Yeah, that's the prize. So it's just recognition
Yeah.
of being able. Okay. All right. Well, you know, great year, Andrew. You know, 999 out of 1,000 people would love to have that kind of performance. You know, that's like a 1 in 100, almost like 1 in 1,000. So you did it playing alongside the market mostly, right?
Yeah, for the most part, trading the long side. Did some short trades as well. And I think this year, you know, doing some tactical shorts is going to be even more important. So I'm actually competing again in the contest. This will be my 3rd consecutive year attempting to place. And yes, so
you're
far,
like
so good.
you're trying to three-peat like the Chiefs.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, let's see your screen and some of the things you're looking at. So, uh, the red sweep, different regime,
Yes.
and yeah, to me, the character of the market changed in December on that bear raid, where average trading ranges became larger. We've had a few of those episodes. They're like, mini strokes that the market recovers from. Mag 7, 4 out of the 7 have broken trend. So
Yep.
that's going to be. You think the Bears have a good chance of, uh, you know, buying the dip isn't going to work as much this year? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
My view heading into this year was just that the market was not going to do quite as well in 2025. So if we really just think about what has been happening over the last few years, in 2022 we had that big bear market that was driven by inflation, and
Yeah,
then in 2023 and 2024 we had this awesome bull market, and for the most part the leader of that bull market was Nvidia. So
yeah.
Nvidia put up a triple digit year, I believe, in 2023 and 2024. And if we just look at what Nvidia is doing now this year, I mean,
Yeah.
granted, if you're a very short term trader, like you're a swing trader, day trader kind of thing, like, yeah, this looks great over the last few days for Nvidia. But
Yeah.
for the most part, the stock, it is down on the year so far, down 5.35%. And unless we get another one of those mega cap tech stocks, like let's say like an Apple or Amazon or Google, that's going to lead us higher,
It won't
it
be
becomes,
Apple.
yeah, I mean, Apple, let's take a look at
Apple
that
had
one.
5. That's the first one they took out and shot.
Yeah, so this one not looking so great. So yeah, we need more leadership in that mega cap tech space if we want to have another, let's say like 25% year in the S&P 500. So it's not that I think like, oh, this is going to be a horrible year or anything like that. But last year, it was pretty much if you were aggressive on the long side of the market and any
Yeah.
stock that had momentum, you were just aggressively treating it to the long side, you could do very, very well. I think in this year, it's not going to be quite as easy where like every single stock is just ripping to the upside and you can just get super aggressive and not really have risk management. I think
Yeah.
picking which spots you're trading is going to be much more important because I think the S&P 500 is going to have a much weaker year overall.
So I've been saying that the passive investing of just being long the spider and golfing every day, that those days are over. And that if you want to still be able to afford to play golf every day, you're going to have to be tactical now.
For sure.
Do
Yeah,
you
and I think
agree
the
with
best
that
gauge,
statement? Stock pickers market.
yeah, so I think the best way to gauge that is really just looking at those mega cap tech stocks. If they're not in uptrends and they're not, moving above their key moving averages, like Google, for example,
Yeah.
Google looked really good heading into its
Yeah.
earnings report.
They
And let's
all
say
they
this
all
one,
did. They
yeah,
all
they
did
all,
before they all got hit like Apple. I didn't, there was no sign that Apple had topped. Look at the high the move in Apple before they took it apart, Andrew. The same type of thing. It closes great and then just starts going lower. Now this was earnings related, but um, doesn't look great trying to hang on to, one day change the complexion of the market.
absolutely. So when that happens, like I came into that earnings report, hey, this thing's moving to the upside, looking pretty
Yeah,
good. Hey,
yeah.
maybe if this one smashes their earnings report, then maybe
215.
Google is the new leader, and maybe the S&P 500 can just have that awesome year. But then reality hit. Yes, the earnings report came, and it's like, okay, Google's not going to be the leader at least this quarter.
What will
So
be? Amazon's the last man standing, and Netflix. Five
yeah,
out
let's.
of the seven, Mag 7, do not look that great anymore. So Amazon, massive divergence up
Hmm.
here. Netflix, it looks like it's all Meta. Meta's really the strongest stock still out there, and Netflix, hasn't given up its earnings gains. But you know, that's like 4 or 5 out of the Mag 7 that aren't trading well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
what? We'll have to rename them.
yeah, it's gonna be like the Mag 4 or the Mag 3 or yeah.
Well, you know, in the movie, they all got picked off one at a time.
Yep.
The Magnificent. So here we go.
Yeah. So over here at this juncture, Meta is doing very well because they're
Yeah.
sort of the mega cap leader in open source AI. So I
Okay.
think that's giving them a pretty nice tailwind. So yeah, maybe this one is the new leader, perhaps. But yeah, we don't have like this big up move in all of these mega cap tech stocks happening at once. Amazon reports earnings after the bell today,
Yeah.
and so far from what I've seen, when Microsoft reported earnings, their cloud business had a little bit of weakness. And as you can see, Microsoft, yeah, really just hasn't been doing a whole lot. And then the same exact thing when Google reported its results, the cloud business was just a little bit weak. So when Amazon reports today, what I'm really going to be looking at is the cloud business, AWS. If AWS is very strong this quarter, then yeah, this one could probably have a nice move to the upside.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, yeah, if Microsoft was weak in that area, um, and so was Google, there's a good chance Amazon will be as well. But
Yeah,
yeah,
look at
I
the
always keep an open
Microsoft.
mind.
And the Microsoft is the other MAGA that broke down. Microsoft has not made a new high since July of last year.
Yeah, this one doesn't look so great. I think some of the bloom is coming off the rose of OpenAI. Um, I just saw recently like they have like a $340 billion valuation. And yeah, to me that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because these AI models they're kind of getting commoditized. So yeah, TBD on that. But yeah, we can clearly see, the market's not really buying it either. We
This could
are,
be a nice short candidate on a pop. Say the market, general market, Andrew, and this is
yeah.
what I'm looking for. Tell me if you're with me. That like the averages could blow off to new highs, but some of the shares that are broken will set up failing rallies while the market's making new highs. Microsoft being one of them, Nvidia being another, Apple being another. So the leadership, I don't think is going to, the old leadership,
Yeah.
now they're turning into a source of funds. People are
Oh yeah.
liquidating that. What are they rotating into?
So the big theme that I'm tracking for this year, because when I see this, for me, it's not like, oh, now I'm going to get pessimistic. Now it's time to just pack it in for the year. For me, it's just, you have to think a little bit differently. So for me, I have been coming into this year with the idea that Chinese tech could very likely outperform US mega cap tech this year. So the name that I've been using to express this theme is Alibaba. So
Okay.
I was getting long. I've been trading this stock now for, this was my best ticker in 2024 in the contest, and now I'm trading it
Yeah.
again this year. I was getting long Alibaba as we were
Nice.
encountering all these moving averages here. And you can see we've moved off the lows very nicely. There's a few things with these China stocks that I just think there's so many tailwinds for them. The first being the CCP is doing a pretty aggressive stimulus package. And
Yeah.
there's that saying, don't fight the Fed, essentially applying to US markets when there is stimulus happening, you pretty much want to get on the long side. That's what's happening with China right now. They're doing aggressive stimulus. The other thing is in
It's
terms
very
of AI,
contrarian too. It's very contrarian. People are
exactly,
afraid.
very
Yeah.
contrarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the valuations, like I'll point this out over here on my trading view chart. This is what I just find, mind-boggling. It's like if I just increase the size of my fundamental table here, I'll make it medium. And so with Alibaba, it's really cool. And it's the same thing with a lot of these China stocks. I have this trend indicator that I added to my trading view charts just to make things a little bit more objective for me.
Yeah.
And you can see we're in a strong uptrend on the short-term time frame and on the long-term time frame. It's just
Yeah.
referencing these moving averages and we're above all of them. But this is where the juice is. So Alibaba has a dividend yield of 1.35%. And then they have a buyback yield of almost 7%. So if you add those two together, that's 8.35%. We call it a shareholder yield.
Yeah.
So that's essentially money they're just giving back to the shareholders. So all else equal, like in a vacuum, if the business stays exactly the same, just keeps churning along, you would expect the longer you hold this stock, the more value you will accrue just because they're doing these aggressive buybacks and they're paying out those dividends. And then the other thing that I'm looking at is their
It's
cash on
like
hand. Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
like a utility stock.
Pretty much. Yeah, like a utility stock, except the cool thing is they're a Chinese leader in AI and very similar to
Okay.
our companies in the US like Amazon, Google, Microsoft.
Yeah.
They also have a leading cloud business too. So that's what's interesting. There's a lot of parallels with these US companies. But if we look at their cash as a percentage of their market cap, it's at 16%, which is pretty mind-boggling. And it really just tells me like the market has pretty much just dumped these companies. Everyone thinks Trump's going to be super tough on China. I really don't think
Right.
he's going to be. So yeah, from a fundamental standpoint, the valuations are just dirt cheap on the China stocks. They're doing the aggressive stimulus. They've got the AI leadership. And yeah, I think a lot of investors, even with this new changing of the guard, a lot of investors, they just look at Trump's first administration and they think, oh, Trump equals tough on China. So when Trump won the election, or when investors really thought he was going to win the election, you can see Alibaba sold off for a few months consecutively. But I think that is just lazy analysis to assume
Yeah.
that the second admin is going to be the exact same as the first admin. I actually think Trump had a very tough time with China, and he arguably lost that trade war he had with them in his first administration. So I believe he's not going to want to poke the bear this second time around. I think there's more familiarity with there, more mutual respect there now. And yeah, I don't think he's going to be super tough on them. So that's why in the beginning of
Well,
the
look,
year.
either will President Musk. He's got a lot of interests there in China.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's going to temper Trump, isn't it? Elon's going to be talking about the other side of the coin when all the China hawks in the cabinet, and there's quite a few, but Elon has huge interests in China. Uh, as long as that relationship's intact, um, that's the only way the relationship will stay intact. I
Yes.
believe, if Trump really gets tough with China or China starts hitting back big time, then I think there'll be a fissure in that relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. So I
Don't you?
think you bring up a really good point with Elon Musk because a lot of it depends on who is in the cabinet.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people, like, if they just read mainstream headlines, they think like the president does everything. Like he's just in all these places at once. But the reality is the president actually delegates,
yeah,
most of the stuff. So you
yeah,
really have to pay attention to what does the team look like this time around and what did it look like the last time around. So as you mentioned, Elon Musk is a key part of this team and Elon Musk has financial interests in China.
right.
So that's a really
Yeah.
good point that you bring up.
Well, I'm glad to share, get it out there. Anything else you want to cover technically, or do you want to talk about if this victory that you recently had changed your life at all? Are you have a business model now? Have things changed for you in your career?
Yeah, things have definitely changed just because there's a lot, for me, I'm pretty much always just like head down doing my analysis, especially
Yeah,
on social media. I'm not like the loud person that's like bragging about myself all the time. So I
yeah,
always wanted to do this by getting real results. And now I'm starting to get, a lot more attention, a lot of people that want to read my research, all that
cool.
stuff.
All
So
right.
that's a really good thing. Now I'm working with a really good, awesome engineer, and he's helping me build out some of these tools in TradingView that I'm using now. So I'm really just trying to take what I was doing and really take my methodology and just keep building on it and keep trying to get better. Because yeah, I still think in terms of trading and like what I'm doing in my process, like I really still think it's very early days and there's still a lot more room to get better. So yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to continue.
you never stop feeling that way,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know, we're always tweaking, and well, you're growing or you're dying.
Yep.
So it was really great to talk to you. Do you have a place for people to come and listen to you? I think last time you said you had a Discord room now.
Yeah, so if you check out pristinecapital.substack.com, this is where I'm writing my evening research notes. And then anyone that joins here, if they become a premium subscriber, I also throw them into my Discord server as well. So yeah,
Okay.
really just trying to build a nice ecosystem for traders. It's pretty cool. I've met a lot of people through the Discord. And for me,
Yeah.
it's like I'm not trying to charge people like a ridiculous amount or anything, and uh, just trying to keep things on the up and up.
Okay. Well, I think they're all fortunate to have a mentor like you. So, you know, that's paying it forward. You're not only out there trying to make money in the market for yourself and win contests, you're trying to teach people how to fish. So,
For sure.
all right. Well, that's a great angle, you angler. Uh, anyway, Andrew, great talking to you. I hope you even have a better year this year.
Thank you so much, Dale. Likewise. Take care.
All right. Andrew O'Connell, everyone, go to follow him is it at Pristine? What is it again, Andrew? Pristine Cap Management. Is that it?
Yeah, pristinecapital.substack.com.
Okay. All right. So he's good, or I wouldn't, you know, and you know it's not easy to win these contests. All right, because you know it's not a demo account. It matters. All right. So that's going to be a wrap. Thank you, Andrew. People are thanking you. And appreciate you being here. You could join the team in about 17 minutes on the morning edge. I look at today as a lot of book squaring in front of the number tomorrow. So see you tomorrow live for the NFP. We'll react to the reaction. We're not going to predict it, you know. Uh, Partial positions only into the number is my recommendation. All right. Adios, everyone. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. See you tomorrow for TGIF. Oh, and I found a real cool song called Counting My Blessings. I tweeted it out yesterday. Check it out. Adios, everyone.